Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host MB and K Lou. MB out again tonight, and Jay Brock supposed to be coming through. Could get Pac Jam in the building, but I'm gonna go ahead and get underway, man. I'm excited. A lot of stuff been happening this weekend. College football started back. I tell you what, though, right from the start, let's talk about it. And I wish Jay Brock was on here orange colored glasses because orange tinted glasses because we gonna enter his territory off rip. We're gonna talk about Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley. Man, so obviously, everybody knows the sensation who is Jake Paul, and he's a YouTuber that gained notoriety through that vehicle, as well as it boosted him to notoriety on the Disney Channel or something, and played character there. But he's a wild guy, so he got kicked off of Disney. He wasn't gonna be able to hang in Disney World for too long, and so he got back on his YouTube game, and YouTubers started doing little sporting events and stuff like that. Got a little bit popular, and then he went off and started boxing and talking trash and figuring out how to really, leverage his viewership, his followers. So he did that. He was able to start getting these fights, man. And he's turned into a main event. Like, let's be real, and hopefully, our guys and ladies that are out there watching today, please hit me, comment, and let me know where's boxing today. That's my question. Like, where's boxing today? Like, are you satisfied with where boxing is right now? And I'm not. Listen, I don't know boxing. I guess I'm as big a fan as most, meaning like not boxing fans, but most people outside of the boxing fans. And it's a horrible situation right now. And I've talked about that before. But if you look at Jake Paul, he's a main event. I mean, you see what I put in the title. You know, Jake Paul needs to be the heavyweight champ, because I don't know who the heavyweight champ is. You probably, if y'all say his name, and I on purpose didn't look it up. On purpose, I didn't look it up so that I would not seem or sound intelligent in the least degree, because I know Jake Paul name, and I don't know the boxing names. And so, yeah, Steve, look, Steve, you got to tell me, man, like, where are we in the world of boxing that we are the main event is a dude and other guys that ain't even boxers? Like, that's where we are right now. And they making big time money. Pay-per-view, I think, was $60, $59.99. I think it was $60, Steve. How do we go from paying $60 for Mike Tyson fights to now seeing a dude that make a living YouTubing, behind a computer screen like me and MB? Like, you turn into a boxer. And no, I mean, he ain't boxing boxers, but dang, man, that should make it a worse situation. Oh, okay, Steve. Steve say he don't know him or any of these other guys. Steve, crazy part is I'm sitting here talking about him. You know him now because of me. That's how crazy this is. That he's a boxing champ right now. It ain't no real belt. There's no real it's not a sanctioned event like that has a purse as far as like belt and stuff like that, but they making money. And it's just crazy to me that here we are being more excited. I mean, you got real boxers making their picks, and let's throw it out there too. Our Mike Tyson said that Jake Paul was going to beat Tyrone Woodley, and Woodley is a striker. I put it to you this way, Steve. You're not a boxing. I mean, you don't know any of these guys, but put in Tyrone Woodley highlights. Put in that in your YouTube and watch what happens. You would trip out and be like, wow, he's an amazing athlete. He fought in the UFC, stepped away from that, and Jake Paul called him out. Let's be honest. Jake Paul must have talked a lot to Floyd Mayweather because he knows who to fight and when to fight him. You know what I mean? You remember that's the knock that Floyd has gotten a lot. Maybe not fighting guys at the moments where the fans really wanted it. And I think that was one of the knocks in what most of the boxing guys are saying that's good about what these non-boxers are doing. They're showing the boxing world that when people want to fight, you got to put them in front of each other, because I guess, it not for nothing. That's what, Jake Paul and the likes, his brother as well, have been able to do. They've been able to start foolishness or foolery with other people. And then the fans get behind them they say, well, let's fight then. And then their followers get behind it, and then they support it. They support it. And Steve, you're right. The UFC has taken over that market. However, we're seeing a new market blossom, a market where Steve, me and you can go at each other. You know what I mean? If we had enough followers and it made sense, we can go out there and fight each other, because these guys are not boxers. Tyrone Woodley was, a wrestler, turned UFC fighter, champ, won the belt, kept the belt a few times there, probably go down in the Hall of Fame in the UFC, and then, left UFC fighting and got called out by Jake Paul to fight in a match. So, I mean, I think that's a whole nother market. And I think even Snoop called one of these fights early on. I think the one with Nate Robinson, he called. And there's a whole nother market that they're trying to develop based off of that. Basically saying, look, there's a market for these people. People want to see them. These celebrities will fight each other, so let's fight. Steve, say I'm going to come out of retirement and beat up all the Cowboy fans. Hey, look, boy, I don't know if you may not have to. Boy, they beating themselves up. We see that Dak Prescott is supposedly start week 1. They're saying he ready to go. He ain't played none of the preseason, so that's a little side note on that. But yeah, you may be able to beat up on some of these Cowboy fans. Double A, what's going on? Or hold on, I don't know. You got kicked out. You in Facebook jail? Is this your wife? This you, Double A? We are entering a new era. Thunderdome, 2-man inner, 1-man lead, baby. Listen, how many times can you watch that? How many times can you watch Mel Gibson get it in with that movie? I can't even think of the movie right now. I guess it was Thunderdome. Was it Thunderdome? No. With Tina Turner. How many times did we look at that, man? I still, especially Master Blaster, baby. All of us was Master Blaster's fans. We ain't like to see him when Mel beat him down, man. We ain't like that at all. Blowing the whistle, found out his weakness, man. We ain't like that. Yeah, the Cowboys look terrible. However, man, listen, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. How their secondary is still doing what we thought they were gonna do. Their secondary ain't been good since Dion. Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, congratulations, Jake Paul. Keep making your money. I'll leave with that. Keep making your money, Jake Paul, and keep picking the right opponents, man. At some point, though, he may really feel like he can box and actually go out there with a real boxer. But I wouldn't if I was him. I keep beating up guys that think they can do it, and UFC, obviously, he can ground and pound and all that. He couldn't do none of that with Jake Paul. So Jake could talk his trash and know that he was going to stay up. So, yeah. So moving right along, man. Did you see the Miami Dolphins? Coach Flores, when questioned about Deshaun Watson, stated, "We want high character guys on our team. High character guys." I was like, wow. Whoa. That was a low blow. Now let's recap what we knew. Deshaun Watson was accused of pretty much anything seems like that you could do to, in a situation with females, women. And the bad part in the beginning was none of them went to the police. None of them filed charges. But all of a sudden, they one after the other, and somehow they seemed to find the same attorney phone number. But one after the other, he got them to file charges. These charges, it's a whole lot of them. However, it's a situation where it started out wrong, man. So I don't even know where to sit in this situation. But obviously, Brian Flores has made his decision by saying we're looking, we want high character guys on this team, as if to say that's not who Deshaun Watson is. And I got a question about that, guys. I mean, in our society where we've had a president speak out the way he spoke out, which was actually a charge, what's character nowadays? Where does the character line draw? Like do we at what point, and then if he beats these charges, then is he considered a high character guy again, even though obviously it's some shenanigans every time that young fella get a massage? Something going on every time. And MB, I think, and I spoke about that as if to say massages are very important for athletes. I don't think there'll be any professional athletes that tell you that they don't get massages. I mean, the kind I used to get was super deep tissue. So meaning like basically they trying to stick, like Punisher muscle, almost trying to tear them down to rebuild them back. And it's a situation where it's, a lot of times it's painful, guys. So I don't know what kind of massages they was getting, because some of the massages I had, I wanted to jump off the table and run up out of there. I thought I was getting assaulted. That's what happened to me. So when I first heard the story, to hear that he had multiple masseuses was strange to me, because most athletes, again, are, singular when it comes to that kind of stuff. When you believe in or trust a masseuse and they're making you feel right for practice and ultimately the games, and you feel like, man, I can go out there and fly, you don't even mess with nobody else. And I mean, traditionally you have one that you got, your main one is in the football city you're in. And the second one is generally wherever you are home wise. And you might have a floater, when you traveling, when you're on vacation, stuff like that. You may have a floater at them moments. And when I say floater, I'm meaning, it may be a different person depending on where you are. Because regardless if we're on vacation or we have important business to do in other cities or states, we gonna still get our workouts in and our routine in. So if that's massage day and you usually in Florida, but you in Texas, you gonna get massage day still while you're in Texas. So that's the floater. That would be that person that you're not really accustomed to. And I'm gonna tell you this, guys. Even then, you're probably picking up the phone, calling a teammate, seeing who their guy is in that area. It's usually not just random, but you're like, oh yeah, so and so stay here, man. Let me call him. Hey man, I'm in town, man. Who you use for your masseuse? Oh man, I go to such and such. I'm gonna text you the number. That's how that stuff works. So generally, you still not. So to see him, kind of have so many, it's not really good for him. Like, well, I take that back. He been balling for years, so I take that back, man. My bad. I hate to say that, but he been balling, so he can do what he want to. It just was shocking from our perspective. But let's fast forward this. If he turns out to be this was a money grab or this didn't really happen, man, he's been damaged big time financially, and he can actually trace this. If more coaches speak out, more executives speak out, he can actually, make a case for funds that he could have received, but didn't, based on that. Yeah, the other side of it is, what if they're right? If they're right, man, that's a tough thing, and he's gonna do a whole lot of time in prison. So it's a rough situation he's going through. Obviously, the Texans are gonna have to talk about it. Obviously, every and all teams that have a quarterback issue will have to definitely deal with this question and have a real answer for him. So that's gonna be tough, man. That's gonna be tough, and we gonna keep it rolling, man. Steve talked about Dallas looking terrible. Well, this guy was the reason. So I go from Clemson, Deshaun Watson, to another Clemson guy, Trevor Lawrence. Wow. He killed him. He looked like he was back in college, not last season, but the season before, when he was tossing that thing up. No, 2 seasons ago, when he won the Natty, when he was tossing that thing up and guys were jumping over guys' heads and catching it, or just playing wide open. And that the second version was what we saw from the Cowboys. They was just playing wide open. Like, Trevor got a lot of accolades for coming in and playing well. Like, yeah, if they're open, hit them. So I'm not knocking that. But gosh, Dallas don't have a chance. Dallas don't have a chance. You're not that open as a receiver. One of the things that you guys hear it on TV, they talk to quarterbacks about having those tight windows, being able to throw the ball in tight windows. Man, Trevor was like, y'all lied to me. They getting beat worse than the guys we were beating in college. So that's just a shame. And I don't know what do you go from here? What do you do? Obviously, you hope Dak Prescott comes back and there's no, effects of his shoulder injury that cost them during the season. But heck, he not only has to be healthy, but Dak got to throw for 4-5 touchdowns every week just to be in the ball game. If that's what we're gonna see, guys running wide open, like, you got to start, at some point, Cowboy fans, you're going to have to start calling Jerry out. Just let's remember now, Jerry said if he wasn't the GM, if he wasn't the owner, he'll fire himself. So I think, at some point, y'all just got to quit hoping, wishing, and praying, and just already know what's going to happen every Sunday. Okay? Every Sunday, you're going to have to just realize what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is y'all going to get the brakes beat off of y'all. Heck, I don't know if MB and I had y'all finishing last in the NFC East, but boy, I like y'all chances. I don't think that with a defense like that, you guys aren't going to be able to compete with anybody because you're not going to be able to stop anybody. It's going to be a sad case for you guys this year. And I know, you can't say a lot in preseason, but when you running guys that wide open, you running them wide open from the slot, from the outside, man, that's first, second, third corner. So what we gonna do? Replace them with the 4th, 5th, and 6th? They won the job already. So wow, I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think Dallas on your schedule. So you better not be thinking that the year gonna last like that all year. Let's see. Steve say we got to play him on my birthday this year. Let's hope that it's a big celebration. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a celebration. That's the game you want to go to. Hey, that's homecoming, baby. Playing Dallas homecoming now. Or bye week, baby. You either saying bye week or homecoming, Steve. Man, so Miami to you, y'all, and I know this partially the you channel, man. Y'all ain't been having a good set of weeks that been lining up, man. You had a safety come back. This is interesting, man. Obviously, you got the big Patter story, Brian Patter, that's tragic and has that whole situation going on. I ain't gonna even touch that, guys. It's so sad that I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not in a situation to touch that, but I'm touching it as far as just saying there's a lot of stuff coming Miami way, and the season hasn't even started for them. But Miami safety Avante Williams, who was a 5-star guy, is back on the roster following the dropping of battery charges. Though the Hurricanes say the second-year freshman will not make his on-field debut until the second half of the season. Williams was dismissed from the team earlier this summer after facing 3 counts of aggravated battery of a pregnant victim. Bro, and it just got to stop right there. Basically, this article goes on and reads and says that he, the young lady who is his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, recanted the story, said that he was abusive to her, and then recanted the story. Guys, I think this one is easy. She recanted because she saw what happened to him and probably felt sorry for him, pulled back her story, and then the kid gets back on the team. Now, here's the problem with that. Like, if you're Manny Diaz, how tough is that decision? You sit him for half the season, bring him back the other half, but you got rid of him, dismissed him from the team in the initial reports of the story. Like, so do you now believe, because he was never convicted even then, but I guess you made the decision that he really didn't do it, but he did do it in the beginning? I mean, I don't understand. Like, if you're Manny Diaz, what are you saying? Did you just see what happened to Scott Frost this week and getting beat by Illinois? Well, you ain't playing Illinois, Manny Diaz. You playing Nick Saban, Alabama Crimson Tide. And, and you bring this guy back. Obviously, he won't be able to play this game. But I just don't know. I don't know how you put him off, dismiss him, bring him back, and then what do you do with him from now on? Obviously, they're saying they're going to surround him. He's going to have to be responsible for, I think, counseling and things like that. But, what does that say? It's a tough position as a head football coach. I'm not saying, and we all got our opinions on what should have been done. But I will tell you this, like, I'm the type that once you made a decision, stick to it. Because then, like, how do you move forward from here? Because listen, it's college football, it's college kids. They're gonna make bonehead mistakes. So then, are we now? The next problem that occurs, are we on the side of, okay, he did Avante like this, why'd he do this guy like that? Or why'd he get, you know, kicked off the team for good? Will he be able to come back? Like, now you've left all those questions. And I don't know, even leadership wise, player wise, you know, I'm not sure if you know who your head coach is now. Is he really zero tolerance? You know what I mean? Because that's what it spelled when he kicked him off the team. But then now he comes back. So are you really zero tolerance? I mean, those are questions that you must answer. And obviously, there's a cloud going all over Miami right now, and it's dark there. So it's just interesting, man, that that development, him coming back, and then obviously Alabama and all talk probably is going to start focusing on there when the players are also being questioned, investigated, and all this other stuff about a situation that occurred there over 15 years ago. So this is crazy. So Steve say your boy Jones, Danny boy, say Danny Jones better not let me down. Otherwise, I'm going to challenge him to a heavyweight. And you should, Steve. And I like your chances. If you start working on your jabs, uppercut, sticking and moving right now, I like your chances because, hey man, Jake Paul must be in the weight room, in the gym, man, a lot, boxing a lot, because he's out boxing a world-class UFC fighter. Not to say he's a boxer, but he is using his hands a lot. I'm thinking his hands should be better than Jake Paul. But if he's beating these guys again, I regress, man. I'm sorry. I don't want all the way back there. But yeah, Steve, show your hands, man. Hey, Steve says she might have recanted her story once she found out that she can go to jail for a false statement. That's interesting too. So then if that's the case, Steve, and you taking that angle, then he should be reinstated and ready to play for Alabama. How about that? If that's the case, Steve, why he ain't suiting up this week? That's a whole nother spin. He didn't really do it. I mean, how do you? I don't know. I've never understood domestics and how you decide who did what, when, and where, unless somebody got a camera. I mean, because, oh man, those situations I'm sure get pretty darn crazy, and I guess you would need a camera involved to be able to really tell the truth about what happened. So, heck, that's a tough one. Oh, okay. I thought I had a text. Somebody want to talk about something on the text. But here, moving right along, man. So that safety of Avante get a second chance. Texas QB Hudson Card to start the season opener, but Casey Thompson to get playing time as well. So Steve Sarkisian starts his Texas debut, and right off the bat, he having quarterback issues. Now, I know you guys, it didn't say that, and it doesn't seem that way, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. When you don't know who you starting, usually you ain't sure by either one of them. And that ain't no good thing. And I guarantee you they had about 5 quarterbacks then came in this summer, boy, under Steve Sarkisian. Because it's one of those situations, man. Look at Texas. Look at Mac Brown when he was at Texas after Vince, and he also had Colt McCoy. And then look at the other guys. I mean, that's a tough position. And that's a tough position to be successful at. And playing it and recruiting it. And it's going to be interesting because, you look at Texas and they're, heck, when you talk about programs in the NCAA, that's a program you kind of start with, it's still a huge heavyweight, but they have nothing to show for it. By that I mean no championships. Heck, no. Not, I mean, at one point it was like, Ohio State in the Big Ten, Texas in the Big 12. We just knew Texas was gonna figure out a way to win the Big 12, but they're nowhere in the conversation. Heck, we talking about Iowa State this year, man. We talking about if Texas beat Iowa State, that's an upset. That's what kind of stuff we talking right now. And that was something I thought we never talk about. Steve, kind of get back to what you said. Remember, it happened before. I don't remember, Steve. Who recanted their story? You're not talking about the Florida State fiasco, right? That was a mess. And I think she was doing him a favor too, because I think the police got called on that situation like 3-4 times. DeAndre Francois, that was a kid that was a local kid, guys, from here, that all of us around here thought it was NFL for sure. I remember I was coaching at that time, and he threw a ball. He threw a pass on our sideline. He was on the left hash, threw an out route on a rope to our sideline, and the kid dropped it. Of course, it's high school. Kid dropped it, of course. But I looked at my coach and I was like, last time I saw a throw like that was on Sunday. He looked at me and fell out laughing. I was like, that's a pro arm right there. Left hash throwing opposite of the field on a rope. And my DB had zero chance of getting to it. And they kid had a good route and all that, but couldn't come up with it. I was like, oh yeah, that's Sunday. So Steve, that's who I thought it was. That's what came to my mind. So Jack, you said Mac looks good. Listen, man, and I try to tell MB this, man. He's gonna make the proper throws. He's gonna do it the right way. It's all about, getting some pieces around him, and especially getting some pieces in front of him to protect him. I just don't know how far the Giants are away from that, though, because we're not excited about their receiving core. I think Kadarius Toney is going to be kind of like an X factor guy. I don't necessarily look at him as a receiver right now. Do I think he'll become one? Absolutely. I think he'll develop into an exciting receiver. But right now, he's going to be a big play guy. They need him in the punt game, need him in the kickoff return game, punt return and kickoff return game. They need him in the slot. They need him running bubbles. They need him running wide receiver screens. They need him in the open field with jerk routes and check with me routes type of stuff, just to get him out in the open field and get him moving. So I think that's going to be huge for him. But I just feel like, obviously having the running back come back again is going to be huge for him. Having a guy that you can just, sit back, hand the ball to, and let him, work a little bit is going to be huge. But I don't think you want to get Saquon Barkley, tons and tons of carries right off of coming off a injury year on last year. So that's going to be interesting to see how the Giants really focus in, hone in on how they're going to run their offense, how Daniel Jones will be used, and hopefully that he's used in a way that, man, you kind of protect him. You kind of give him stuff that he's capable of doing. And I know he's getting older now, so he needs to make a leap too. But we sit here and Aaron Rodgers arguing about weapons. Heck, let's face it. Tom Brady left the the Patriots for a better situation and having weapons around them. So everybody want weapons, you guys. So don't just pick fun at my Duke guy just because he ain't got no weapons. Man, next story. Scott Frost gets burned. First game. That seat is burning right now. Scott Frost's seat is burning right now. And it's the old adage, guys. Sometimes when you have a great thing, you shouldn't leave it. Obviously, he's a Nebraska kid, Nebraska kid getting to go back home, getting to go back to the school that he made a mark, on. But man, it was sweet at UCF. You had a sweet situation. No, you weren't going to make that same money. But he was sweet. Man, it was sweet. You arguing about being a national champion? Now you can't beat Illinois. Cellar dweller of the Big Ten. Man, I think his time is up. You look at him and you see a situation where, you lose to Illinois, and let me pull up their schedule. So, and this is a Big Ten, guys, that, you generally have, over the last few years, one dominant team, and then everybody else can beat each other. So you look at it and you say, hey, they lost at the Fighting Illini last week. Okay, now they got their giveaway game for them. Now you can't even play with that. You got to get him 50 points, or I don't think Scott Frost makes it out of Fordham. You back that up with Buffalo. If you split, obviously you win at Fordham, you lose at Buffalo. I think we're having the same conversation, man. I think if he doesn't go 2-0 the next 2 weeks, we probably not even talking about his name anymore. From that point on, though, guys, Nebraska plays Oklahoma. That's a loss. Michigan State, toss-up. Northwestern, a loss. Michigan, another loss. Minnesota, loss. Purdue, loss. Purdue's coming back a little bit, guys, last year. Ohio State, 2 losses for that game, the way they're going to beat them. Wisconsin, loss. And Iowa, loss. Man, that's a lot of losses. I just gave them Fordham. Buffalo, let's give them 2. So that's 2. I said toss up Michigan State. Let's give them that 3. There it is. There are 3 wins. I don't see any more wins, y'all. Let's even be nice, generous. Let's give them Purdue 4 wins. And that's the season. That's the season. Definitely, I'm thinking they get these 2, Fordham and Buffalo. But them next 2 going to be hard to come by. Especially with, that middle of the road guys being tough like that. Let's see. None of those Nebraska receivers could get off the line. Man, listen, he tried his best. Down here, man, he was able to play in, what is it, not even Conference USA, American AAC, something. I think it's like AAC. So he was able to play in AAC with second-tier Florida kids. Second-tier Florida kids in AAC gonna win a lot of games. And that's what he's able to do. But you don't even have those kids where you at in Nebraska. If he was able to bring his team to UCF to Nebraska, he better make a little bit of noise in the Big Ten. Trust me. He'd be a 8-win guy with that same group. Problem is, how you gonna talk them kids into going to Nebraska, man? That's not Tom Osborne's Nebraska. So that's a little bit tough, man. That's a little bit tough. Moving right along. Playoff Rondo is back, y'all. The Late Show. Listen, I've been hearing a lot of hate. Somebody put on Instagram, we got 59 All-Stars. That if we win, Irene won't count. But if we lose, it's the worst loss ever. And I'm like, what? How can you say that when Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden are playing on the same team? We can't name 3 like that. We can name 2, but we can't name you 3 guys that are like that. Obviously, Russell Westbrook is a super duper talent, but those 3 guys will go down as basketball greats. Especially, Kyrie, I think is going to be a little bit tough. I think it'll be, if the players voted on it, Kyrie would move up higher. But with the media, I think Kyrie's going to suffer because I don't think a lot of people understand how good he is at times. But James Harden, we've seen him, be a league MVP. Kevin Durant, league MVP, finals MVP. So we've seen that. Kyrie's going to find it hard. But if you ask any of the NBA guys, it's without a shadow of a doubt. He's one of the best players. Probably those 3 they will put in the top 5. See, they're not going to put Russell Westbrook in there. So that's why I'm saying we don't have the same firepower. So if you look at that situation, I don't know how you can just say we should win. Like, I think we should win every year, but that's me. I'm a fan. And I like that. You right, double A ring is a ring. But I'm just letting you guys know. I think we should win. However, I think it's we aren't the best team, or watch this. I wouldn't say team, but best group of assembled stars. Put it that way. Because when you're looking at Carmelo, it's not Melo though. It's Carmelo. We got Carmelo Anthony playing for us. We ain't got Melo. Melo don't play for us. We got Carmelo, and Carmelo's gonna get a lot of DNPs. He's gonna play when we need him. He's not gonna play every night. So that's Carmelo. That ain't Melo. So Carmelo Anthony plays for us. Dwight Howard, same thing. That ain't Superman. That's Dwight. That's Dwight. Dwight's playing for us. And then we just got playoff Rondo, baby. He back. Playoff Rondo is back. And you gotta look at the Clippers situation and start questioning that right now. Because look what happened. They traded him and Lou Will, right? And whatever kind of deal to get Bledsoe. So they traded Lou Will and Rajon Rondo. And then Rajon has a chance when he gets bought out to go back there. He doesn't even look their way. So what I know is about our fans here and our viewers, y'all like, the Clippers and their situation. So tell me, why is it that, or excuse me, sorry, I ain't gonna say y'all like the Clippers, but y'all like playoff Rondo because y'all give him a lot of credit. Okay. So if playoff Rondo, if y'all like him, y'all believe and think he's, on the up and up, and he don't even look their way, I think that says a whole lot about that situation over there. And I think, again, it's going to be interesting to see how the Clippers just devolve right back into a laughing stock of the West, because it's coming. Because I don't think Kawhi's going to stay there any longer, because I think he has the same situation. He just re-signed. I think he plays 2 years again and is back up again. I think he leaves when he has that option this next time, because he knows his legacy is going to go to the trash. People are going to start questioning. Obviously he gets way too much credit for the win in San Antonio. But he also, to me, wasn't the heart and soul of what happened in Toronto. Now, like granted, he hit the big shot. He hit the big shot in the corner. But the heart and soul is who Double A talking about. He interested to see the Heat. And if Oladipo and shows up with Lowry, Oladipo, let's hope that his injury. Listen, if Oladipo's healthy, the East in trouble. You talking about best two-way guys. These would be two real two-way guys. Now, they struggle on offense a little bit more, but they going to be dogs on defense. I can tell you this much. There's not going to be a lot of teams that want to see them in the playoffs. There's going to be teams trying to dodge that situation in the playoffs. I love what Miami Heat did. And I don't think they're done. I think they'll still add a couple pieces. And I'm not talking about big like that. But I think Pat Riley ain't done. I think he probably put in a phone call to Rajon Rondo. But, and shucks, you look at the situation. Rondo probably should have listened. That would have been a fun situation for him to go there and be a super integral part of what could have been. But yeah, I think they go right back up to having a shot to be in the finals in the Eastern Conference this year. Listen, Trent Dilfer was out there being Debo, man. Did y'all see what happened? Did y'all see what happened? Trent Dilfer had a little fella had a run in with the tight end who was actually the son of a former NFL player. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Trent Dilfer. Yeah. Shoves and yells at the players. I'm gonna pull that up. See what happens. It's not coming up. I'm trying to find it. Let's see if this the one. And then yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'll show this one to you guys. And then I want to question, man, like share. Let's take a look at this. All right, there we go. So Trent Dilfer, kid comes out of the game. Obviously, there's a interaction, and Trent pushes the kid, walks backwards, and then the kid tries to shove him. Trent shoves, it's like a double shove kind of, guys, and he's yelling at the kid to sit down. So what do you guys think about this, man? Here we are talking about coaches. It's easy, and Trent is apologized. Why? Because he's the adult. And so, yeah, the adult's always going to get the bad end of this deal. And you know what? I'm a parent. I'm wondering what I would say if this happened. If this happened, like, I'm wondering what I would say or do. However, guys, at the end of the day, like, your child. So if it's one of my kids, I'm like, oh yeah, they said something to get that. oh, they earned it. So I'm probably not saying anything. I'm telling you that right now. Trust me. Oh yeah, that's it right there. But how far is too far? Again, he's already said that was too far. I coach, guys. My demeanor isn't like that. So that would never happen to me. I'm the type of guy that if he would have acted out in any way, I'd say, hey, take off my stuff and bye. Like, that's who I am. So I claw you with words, and it's that calm. I know you guys don't believe me, but it's that calm, and it's that, and I mean it. And then I'm telling the coach or equipment guy to go with you, because you about to go to the locker room. You gonna come out, with shirts and shorts on or whatever your school clothes are, but it ain't gonna be, in my stuff. You're done, and that's how I attack stuff like that. I think a lot of times the hot air blowing that like Trent Dilfer doesn't work. You saw what the kid did. He took that and lashed out at him. Like, and these kids are different, man. A lot of these kids feel like he has every right to shove his coach because his coach is trying to take control of the situation. And again, my actions would have been completely different. He wouldn't have liked my actions because he'd no longer be playing with us. Like, I had a zero tolerance for stuff like that. Like, because there's never any reason for disrespect or that kind of behavior. If I'm talking to you, then I'm going to talk to you in a way that I would talk to your mom or that I would talk to your sister. And I really mean that, guys. Like, it's going to be hard to the point, but in a PC way, in a way that is acceptable in church. And so, but I'm going to get my point across. It's going to be hard, direct to the point, but it's not going to be in a way that's demeaning, hurting your, I don't really care about your feelings. It's probably going to hurt your feelings, but it's going to be the truth. If you just got put on your butt, I'm going to talk about why you got put on your butt. And if you don't change it, you're going to get put on your butt again. If you mad about that, then that's on you. That's definitely on you. That's not on me. I promise you that. That's definitely not on me. That's on you. So you need to handle that. But I really think, hey, and again, I'm aging myself and throwing myself back. This is something that wasn't nothing, y'all. I mean, coaches, man, like, again, it's easier for me to say that I wouldn't have done that because that's not my style. That's not my demeanor. But coaches now, man, I didn't even see, I'm gonna be honest with you, from the stuff that I experienced as a player, that was nothing. That was nothing. Like, and it's interesting. I'm not a huge social media guy, so I wonder what people are thinking about it. Are they saying is it horrible, terrible? Of course, Trent Dilfer jumped out in front of it, and he should have, because he's an adult, and you don't want to seem like you're bullying a kid. So again, it's gonna be interesting, and it's one of his. So the kid is one of his former teammates' sons, and that teammate coaches on the team. Now, I can tell you how that works, though, because that's a buddy deal. That's, hey, I can't get on him like I want to, so why don't you get on him? His dad set him up. Hey, maybe Trent shouldn't be apologizing. Maybe the dad need to be apologizing, because I promise you, he said, listen, I can't talk to him. He ain't gonna listen to me, and his mama gonna kill me if I say something crazy to him. So you get him. So Trent, you got set up. So you need to throw him under the bus and tell us the truth, that your teammate told you could do that to his son. And as a matter of fact, he wanted you to do it to his son, because guess who we never saw on that screen that appeared? His daddy, who is on the coaching staff. Oh, man. Hey, Jason left me high and dry, but he gonna comment, so I'll accept it. He said, look, character is born from those coachable moments. So you're saying for the kid or for the coach? So, yeah, I'm sure you're talking about the kid. The kid builds character. The kid learns how to go through adversity and still perform. Yeah, it's the truth. I've learned more in life from those 60 to 90-second chew outs than nearly any 10-minute conversation I've ever had. Oh, yes, you did. I ain't even gonna put that out there because I emailed it to you. So yeah, I ain't gonna even put that out there. And then finally, ESPN was gamed, man. A high school. Let me read this to y'all. Pac Jam. This Pac Jam story. Pac Jam sent this to me. This is hilarious. So it says new details about Bishop Sycamore emerged Monday. That was a team that IMG played on national TV. So IMG is like a super elite program. The best kids in the country come down to Bradenton, Florida, and get to say they beat up on people kids all year because that's all what happens. With ESPN releasing the following statement about Sunday's debacle, it turns out the team Bishop Sycamore also played a game on Friday, which made Sunday's game its second in just 3 days. According to Awful Announcing, the game was scheduled by Paragon Marketing Group, whose president denied having knowledge of Bishop Sycamore's Friday game. Ghazi also said the company did not do its due diligence in researching the team. We regret that this happened and have discussed it with Paragon, which secured a matchup and handled the majority of our high school events scheduling, ESPN said in an official statement. This is the important part. I'm going to skip all the way down. The outlet also confirmed that the Ohio School Athletic Association doesn't recognize Bishop Sycamore as a legitimate high school. They went and played nobody, y'all. Can you believe that? They went and played nobody. They played. So these teams, and I'm sure you football fans are probably unaware of this, but you need to start talking to nieces, nephews, grandkids, or sons and daughters, or whomever you know that are in high school. There are these athletic high schools, prep schools that are starting to blossom because they can throw them on online schooling, especially like here in the state of Florida, we have Florida Virtual School. So I can start a school that's strictly for football, basically, have them enroll in Florida Virtual, and then line up a football team out there, man. This thing is getting crazy. And it's more and more people that are deciding to do this. So I think you guys should be on the lookout for it. But it's hilarious that ESPN was duped by a school like that. Probably not accredited, and then these kids probably may or may not be able to even go to school. There was more stories. I don't know if it was rumored or if this was true, but definitely rumored that some of the kids weren't even high school aged, and that whole nine. They put together the all-star team to try to beat IMG. Listen, they got more D1, more 5-stars on IMG team than darn near anything outside of the top 10. They got more 5-stars on IMG than anything outside of the top 10. So you need more than that. You need to bring some guys that are still playing, in college and drop them down. That ain't gonna get it. Well, appreciate y'all, man, for coming through, pulling up, hollering at us, because you know us. From sideline to baseline with MB and K. Lou, we are going.